Let's get this series started. Welcome to MusiQuest episode 1. And in this video, I want to talk about, let's go back to the very beginning, meaning my childhood. So I just want to cover a little bit about the music that, in this case, my parents used to listen to when I was a kid. Because obviously, when you're a kid, you're mostly exposed to whatever is playing in your household. I do remember that I used to have this small record player that was shaped kind of like a frisbee, and it was, I don't remember if it was blue or red, but it had this like slot on one of the sides where you could put the records into, and it had buttons. It was for kids basically, but it would allow me to take records from my dad's collection or my own collection. I think I had some records meant for kids. I put them in and just play them in my room and listen to music for a while, I guess. I mean, I was a young kid listening to music. But I loved this record player because it allowed me to listen to the music that I wanted to whenever I wanted to. So that was cool. But other than that, most of the music that we had at home was, well, obviously my dad's collection. He didn't have a really large collection of music. He just had like a few records stored in a closet somewhere. And sometimes I would go and peek in there to see what he had. I do remember he was a lot into, well, overall, my parents, what we would listen to at home and in the car would be mostly stuff like Neil Diamond and Barry Manilow and maybe stuff like the Platters. So sort of like a little bit soul influenced music, also classical. My dad used to blast Beethoven's Fifth Symphony in the house, and that would scare the bejesus out of me because he would like crank up the volume, and the entrance to this piece, it was very impressive for me. So I would just like hide behind a couch or something. I do remember that quite well. Thanks, Dad. And he also had some like musicals, Tommy and stuff like that. There was one record that I remember seeing much later on when I was a teenager already in his collection, that I was blown away by its presence in my dad's music collection, which was Alice Cooper's Alice Cooper Goes to Hell record, which that doesn't, if you knew my dad, that would never happen. I have no idea how that record got in there. But anyway, so I grew up listening to all this music, which, as I said, it was very like ABBA, the Jackson 5, the Bee Gees, all this stuff from back in the day. That was where what I grew up listening to. This will be very important later on, so keep it in mind. But anyway, the record that I want to talk about today is this one musical record that my dad had in his collection. And I remember very well, I liked it a lot. I didn't know why, but there was especially one piece that, a piece of music in there that I really enjoyed, but I did like the whole thing. And it had kind of like a big impact on me because the music was very unusual for me compared to the other more, let's call it pop stuff that my parents were listening to. And it's this one right here. Jesus Christ Superstar. This is a musical, and I recently found this in a used CDs and record store. Obviously, my dad had like the records. I don't have a record player, so I buy CDs. So this is what I got, and I listened to it again just like yesterday after I don't know how many decades. Well, I know, I'm just not going to tell how many decades of not listening to this particular record. And it was a revelation. I the quality of the music in there is incredible. If you have a chance, listen to this on whatever streaming service you're subscribed to, or I don't know. But I really recommend you listen to this record. It has so many good pieces in here. I'm just strictly promoting the music, of course. That's all. That's all I want to do here. But if I have to highlight one, just listen to the overture. The overture is amazing. It has so much harmonic richness in it. So anyway, small snapshot of my childhood. There you go. Now you know something else about me. And if you want to know what I was listening to later on when I was more like a young teenager and I started to like come into my own in terms of like my musical taste and whatever I was selecting to have in my own music collection, stay tuned for next week's MusiQuest. Take care. Bye.